Our first matter is Jessica and Jeffrey Wilder and the estate of Cheryl and Wilder versus Tara Ann Hendricks. The file number is 252402. Mr. Dutka is present with Jeffrey Wilder.
Jessica is here.
Is Jessica there too?
All right,
Yeah.
Jessica,
Yes,
good morning.
There she is.
Oh, good morning.
Field of vision leaves something to be desired here.
All
So.
right, well, she looks better than he does, so I'm not sure why you got him there rather than her, but we'll just do the best we can. We had a previous case with Miss Hendricks, 25717 LT, before their mother passed away. And we went through a quite involved case, and eventually it was, I believe, dropped. I disclosed at that time that I know Jessica and Jeffrey Wilder. Their grandma lived 2 doors away from me. I was friends with their father for 50 years, and I've watched them grow up since they were little kids. Now Jessica lives 2 doors away from me. But despite all that, I don't feel that I need to disqualify myself in this matter. Having said all that, Jessica or Jeffrey, do either of you have a problem with me handling this matter?
No, Your Honor.
No, we do not.
All right. Is Miss Hendricks gone? Is she out of there?
Well, Your Honor, we're not sure. She never turned in the keys. And I note the deputy did serve her at an address in Sturgis, not only for the notice to quit, but also the summons and complaint.
Yeah.
But she had other hangers on and other occupants with her, so we honestly don't know how many sets of keys are out there, and we don't know, if anybody is still in there. That's the bottom line.
Well, I didn't know. She was personally served. Let's make sure she's not here. Hello, Deputy Kending. I'm looking for a Tara Hendricks.
I haven't seen anybody here by that name.
All right, thank you. Bye. Checked in. So she is subject to default. Was filed as to Tara Ann Hendricks and all other occupants. And the judgment doesn't have that in there, but I'm going to write it in there. Oh, and yes, it does.
Yes.
I find by default, plaintiff has a right to recover possession of the property. Jeffrey and Jessica, Mr. Dudka knows this, but I have to give 10 days. So 10 days from today would be December 22nd. No money judgment is entered at this time. Does she still have property there?
Well, that's still another unknown. We thought, and I don't know, Jeff could jump in on this one anyway, but because he lives not far. But anyhow, that was another thing. We're not sure about that, and it's some cause for concern as far as liability is concerned.
Your Honor, I decided to keep my distance from the house and away from her. She's a really volatile person. I mean,
I'm sorry, I can't hear you very well.
I try to avoid that property right now because she is a very volatile person, and she's prone to violence. I just didn't see the reason to exacerbate anything.
All right, well, Mr. Dudka will give you good counsel. After 10 days, you can ask for a writ of eviction and the sheriff can come put her stuff out. I believe your intention is to put this house up for sale, but you need to make sure that you've got her out of there and you're doing it the right way. You don't want to go in there and get a fist fight or a shouting match. So I respect the choices that you're making here, but you're doing it through the court. I find that Tara Hendrick and any all other occupants in that property at 624 Elm Street.
Wrong.
Excuse me,
Well,
47475 South Baroque Road.
Yeah.
I don't want to evict you from your own house.
Yeah. please don't.
475 South Baroque Road are subject to termination of tenancy 10 days from today. Now, there's always concerns at this time of year whether the heat is on. You don't want the pipes to freeze. You do have my authority to inspect the premises.
That's good.
That could be catastrophic. It's about to get real cold, like
This week.
-2. I would suggest that maybe you ask the Colon PD or go over there and see and make sure that there's heat on in the place. What is the source of heat?
Gas or?
I believe it's electric, Your Honor.
Electric heat's very expensive, but at least the electricity is probably hooked up anyway. You have my authority to inspect the premises prior to the eviction date to make sure there's heat in the property. All right, Mr. Dutka, thank you for your help and thank you for helping them.
Well,
We've
thank
taken
you.
a little extra time to see whether she showed up and she did not. I think she's out of there, but we'll make sure.
Well, I
All right.
appreciate that. Thanks, Your Honor, very much.
All right, best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you,
Alright.
Your Honor.
Thank you.
Good morning, Stuart.
Ms. Moat, they have
Morning.
filed a motion to terminate your tenancy. I want you to move. Is this lot and trailer?
I own the trailer.
All right, so this is a screwy one. Mr. Weiner, what's your position here?
So, Your Honor, and I have Ms. Sharpening here to answer any further questions. Apparently, there was an agreement to rent the lot, and have possession, but she did not identify another person who was living with her. That created the first problem. She violated the agreement that she had signed for her tenancy. And then this person has created problems in the park. Police have been called on a number of occasions, and we have received multiple tenant complaints. So I think Ms. Sharpening tried to address this issue with the tenant, but to no satisfaction. And so we have to regrettably.
Is that person Ronnie Lee Miller?
Yes,
Yes,
Your
sir.
Honor.
He's in jail right now for assaulting Miss Moat. Or he was, maybe just got out on a bond. Anyway, he's charged with assaulting Miss Moat and he is set for sentencing in the near future. Miss Moat, what's your position?
On I'm unaware of on my position on what, Your Honor.
Well, they want you to move your trailer and go.
Yeah.
They're evicting your trailer. And the one difficulty is there's nowhere to move a trailer to.
Yeah.
So what's your position?
I am not sure. I was thinking about if it did come, like if they, if it was a moving situation, then I would have to sell it because the trailer is rather old. And it has some structural problems, so I don't think I would be able to move it.
It is an option in the just cause termination. It says you have 10 days to sell or move the mobile home.
Yes,
And
sir.
most of our currently cited mobile homes are not movable.
Yeah.
A, they're not movable, and B, there isn't anywhere to move them to.
Yeah.
But because of these incidents with your boyfriend, they're wishing to terminate your tenancy. So you're getting a double whammy. I think he was charged with stalking and domestic assault.
Yes, sir.
And now because of him, they want you to move.
Yes, sir.
He currently has a bond condition that he's not allowed to have any contact with you.
Yeah.
Ms. Corpening and or Mr. Weiner, does that affect your position, knowing that the source of the problem has been charged with crimes against her?
I doubt that, Your Honor. Ms. Sharpening, what do you think?
Well, I never had a problem with Autumn in the past until Ronnie moved in. I'm willing to look at it and have a conversation with Miss Moat. As long as he's not coming back, I'm willing to consider that.
Okay.
But he can't come back. He's created a real
Yes.
problem in the mobile home community.
Yes, sir.
Does
Well, he did 30 days jail. And he's on a probation with some jail hung over his head. No contact with victim until further order of the court. All right. Well, let's continue this a bit to give you an opportunity to discuss this. He has been released from jail within the last day or two after doing 30 days. He's on probation. And one of the conditions of his probation is he's not allowed to have any contact with Miss Moat.
Does that include telephone calls or just physical contact, Your Honor?
No contact whatsoever.
Okay.
All right, Miss Moat, who else lives there? Do you have kids there?
Yes, that's me and my daughter, or me and my 2 kids.
Well, we're coming into the holiday season, so we've got some missed court dates. But we are available next Friday, the 19th. We're probably going to continue all these till next Friday, Mr. Weiner.
Okay.
So let's see how that works for you. The 19th.
Let me check. The 19th works for me, Your Honor.
For the day is crammed full. 10:30.
Okay. I can be available.
Ms. Moat, I would suggest you've got a couple options. You may contact legal aid. There may be some defenses to termination of tenancy when you're a domestic violence victim.
Yeah.
There may also be able to set up an agreement with the park that if he's not there, that you can stay, in which case they could work out something called a conditional order of dismissal. So
Okay.
I would suggest that you contact Ms. Corpening and discuss that with her.
Okay.
Now, Ronnie's not supposed to have any contact with you, and if he does, he's in violation of the probation. So don't let the camel get his nose under the tent. Don't let him call you. Don't let him stop over there. A, it violates his probation, and B, it's going to ensure that you get evicted.
Yeah.
So stop in today or early next week and talk to Ms. Corpening about this, and then she can discuss it further with Mr. Weiner.
Okay.
All right, thank you. You're good to go.
Thank you so much.
All right, ladies, you're both here as tenants in a non-payment of rent case. They want you to pay your rent or move. So the first case actually set is Miss Bice. Miss Bice, they contend that your rent is behind and they want you to pay the rent or be prepared to move. Is this lot only or lot and trailer? It's $975 per month, so I believe it's lot and trailer. Is that correct, Ms. Corpening?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
All right, so this is like renting a house.
Mhm.
Mr. Weiner, what's the current arrearage?
So the current arrearage is $6,006.20, and let me break that down. In the complaint, we asked for, at that point in time, there was an arrearage of a July balance, August, September, and October. And with late fees and pet fees, the total was $3,650. Then November and December, rent was not paid. That brought it to $5,300 for just the home and the lot, late fees of $300, pet fees of $150, and filing fee of $130, process fees of $51.20 for process of service, and $75 for attorney fees. The total amount of all of that is $6,006.20. That's due and owing through December.
Excuse me, Stuart, she did make a payment.
Oh, she did. That's
Yeah.
right.
We'll
That's
address
She did.
that in a minute. Let me,
Okay.
130 plus 5120 plus 75 equals 256. That's not right. 130 plus 5120 plus 75 equals 256.20.
correct. Those are the costs.
All right, Ms. Corpening, how much has defendant paid?
She has paid $950.
So we'll subtract 5,300 rent minus 950. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna put rent, pet, and late all together, which is 5,300 plus 300 late plus 150. Pet fee is 5,750. Minus 950 equals $4,800.
Correct, Your Honor.
All right, plus 256.20 equals 5,056.20. Ms. Bice, what's your plan? Do you wish to stay there or do you think you're gonna move?
I'm gonna stay here because the trailer is paid off, but they're still charging me the rent. The math is not correct. Like me and Chris went over it, and it's just supposed to be lot rent.
So you're alleging that the number isn't wrong because they're still charging you a payment on the trailer after you've paid it off?
Correct.
Do you have the title to the trailer?
No.
I do not.
Ms. Corpening, what can you tell us about that?
Her July payment is her final payment, but it's not paid as of today. It's not complete, and her tax and title fees have not been paid. So therefore, that is why we continued charging the way we did, because none of that has been finished paid. Now, if she pays that off, we will be happy to just charge her that lot rent with the late fees and not charge her the full payment.
All right. So you got a commitment here. You actually bought this trailer.
Correct.
So you need to go see Ms. Corpening, and maybe that $950 should have been applied to those costs rather than rent. You need to pay the July payment and some other title fees, and then the trailer will be in your name and they could adjust the amount.
That's what we're gonna go over today when I go in there to pay her some more money.
All right. I'm gonna continue this to 10:50 on next Friday, December 19th.
Okay.
I get a weird compunction at the end of the year to try to finish everything before we go into the next calendar year. There's a real necessity to it. We can adjourn it further, but it sounds like you got a plan. If you can get that paid off, she could reduce this to lot rent, and even then they could work on something to get it paid. So you're gonna meet with Ms. Corpening. We're gonna discuss this further, and I will see you next Friday morning, December 19th at 10:50 by Zoom, just like this. Okay? Do
Thank
you have
you.
any questions?
No, I just got a little behind because of life. It gave me lemons.
Yes, I see it each week. Life is full of surprises, and some of them aren't good ones. All
Right.
right, I'll see you next week, and we'll see how we're doing.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Next is Memory Lane Mobile Home Park versus Brittany Holtz. File number is 252432LT. This is a similar situation. We had a case previously. This one is also appears to be lot and trailer. What's the current status, Mr. Weiner?
In this one, Brittany Holtz owes for September, October, November, and December. So she owes $3,900 for October through December in lot and home, late fees of $200, pet fees of $100, filing fee of $130, process service fees of $51.20, and attorney fees of $75, totaling $4,456.20.
Once again, the costs are $256.20.
Correct.
Ms. Holtz, what's your circumstance here?
I did make a payment. I've made a couple payments. I did make a payment of 500, and then I did make another payment of 1,060. So the total should be down now.
Just a minute. Are those payments reflected here? When did you make those?
I made one of them yesterday, and I made one of
Okay.
them like a month ago.
Well, the one yesterday I'm not aware of. Chris, are you aware of the one a month
Yes,
ago?
yes, Stuart, I sent it to you in your email, but you were busy yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Yes, she did make a payment of 1,060. I do have without court costs, her total right now is $2,640.
Okay, that's a lot better.
All right. So 2,640, and if we take another 500 off of that, it would make it even less.
No, that does
So-
include the 500, Your Honor.
It
I
includes the
did take that
500?
off. I did take that off, yes, sure.
All right, so, all right, 2,640.
Yes.
So 3,900. All right.
So Chris, the number of 2,640, does that include the late fees, pet fees, filing fee, process, and attorney fees?
It includes the late fees, the pet fees, no court fees. So that 256.20 would be added to the 2,640.
Okay.
Well, if we subtract it just from the rent, 3,900 minus 1,560, we get a rent figure of 2,340. And then if we add 200 late and 300 or 100 pet, we get her figure. 2,640
Right.
plus 256.20.
$2,896.20.
2,896.20. All right, Ms. Holtz, that's not an insurmountable amount. Let's talk about what happens next. The law says I need to adjourn this at least 7 days. So we're going to continue this to next Friday, 12/19/26 at 10:55. We're going to be real busy there for a while. And even then, if you don't pay the entire amount, you get 10 additional days to pay the rent or you're being subject to being evicted. Even if you don't pay that, they still have 56 days from that day to ask for the writ. So is your plan to try to catch up the rent?
It is.
Are you going to ask for any help?
I actually did apply for some help through DHS and I did get approved for that, totaling $1,040. And I just submitted, they wanted me to pay a certain amount. So I did submit to them the receipts of that payment. I have not heard back from them yesterday, so I'm not sure where they are in processing that, but
Well,
that
let's
should
talk
be
about
helpful.
that. Let's say that they give you $1,040. That would be good. The only thing that'll cure this is paying the entire amount. A partial payment does not cure the writ of eviction, but we'll see where we are next week. We can continue it further, I suppose, even if we need to. We're still in the month of December. But for now, you share this information with DHS. You owe $2,640 in rent, late fees, and pet fees, plus $256 in costs. So the total is $2,896.20. On January 1st, another $975 is going to be due, plus the pet fee of $25. So it's $1,000 will be due on January 1st. All right. Do you have any questions?
I do not.
All right. My advice is always stay in contact with your manager, stay in contact with DHS. We'll revisit this next Friday morning at 10:55.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
About, depending on how backed up we get. All right. Mr. Weiner, I think that's all of your cases for this morning.
It is, Your Honor, and I appreciate that.
All right, Ms. Corpening, we'll see you next. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Stuart.
All right, take care.
Miss Bainbridge, could you join me?
I'm here.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is file 252484. It's entitled Bobby Joe Bainbridge versus David Green. We never got off the dime. Mr. Green has not been serviced and served, and Miss Bainbridge has not paid the sheriff for his service. Is Mr. Green gone?
No, Mr. Green has agreed to leave on, he had asked if I would, originally he wasn't going to leave. And then he asked if I would give him until the end of January. And I have agreed to give him till the end of January. But I was advised to move forward.
All right, well, I don't have the authority to do anything. He hasn't been served. He isn't here, and you haven't paid the process server's fee. So I'm simply gonna show that this matter is dismissed. If he doesn't move by January, you can rebring the case.
Now if he, with it being, I had actually, made contact with, Bruce, and he was going to serve, and I had provided the payment information. So I'm kind of confused on why he wasn't served, but I also did do the mailing, certificate of mailing, and returned that back to you. And then I actually handed it over to him, and we had the discussion yesterday, but obviously that would be my word against his.
All right, well, so I guess what we can do is, there's a lot of back and forth between you and Sergeant Morse.
Yes.
So do you wish to continue the case to actually get an order?
Yes.
Is your car moving?
No, I'm sorry. That was me bobbing my head. No, it's not moving. I'm
Okay.
not in the
All right.
passenger seat.
All right, well, I'm gonna continue this 2 weeks for service. And you're gonna need to pay him for the service. Now, it could be assessed against the other party, but this is a termination of tenancy action, not a non-payment of rent. So let's see where we are in 2 weeks. All right, I'm gonna set this for 2/15 to December 29th at 2:15.
Okay.
Miss Bainbridge, it probably makes sense to go through with this. Well, we need to get service and you need to pay for it.
Okay. I'll follow back
Um,
up with Bruce.
Then, if we, let's say we work an agreement that he agrees to move by January 31st. If he doesn't move, then you can get the writ of eviction. Without doing this, if he agrees to move and he doesn't move, then you have to start all over again. So I think we should stay on the horse we're on, get service, get notice to him, and get an order in place that protects you. The clerk had some concerns for your safety. Is everything okay there? Can you stay there for a month and a half?
Yeah. I mean, I'm, it's my home. I mean, he's staying at my house, so.
Yeah, he's at your house
Right.
and you want him to move and he doesn't want to move.
Right.
He's not paying rent, correct?
Right. Well, he's not paying, correct. I mean, we never have had a signed contract for a rent. We were in a relationship.
Yes, so what he is now is a tenant at Sufferance. So he's living there without benefit of a lease and you want him to go. And ultimately, it's your right to do that, but we got to follow the steps.
Okay.
So we're going to continue this for 17 days to December 29th. We'll get service on the defendant and have further hearing.
Okay.
So, all right, I'm glad you were able to be here. I told the clerk she needs to be here so we can deal with this.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna continue it. We're gonna get an order. And then if he doesn't leave, you'll have the authority of the court to have the sheriff put him out in an eviction.
Okay. Perfect.
All right, you get back to work. I'll see you on the 29th. You stay in contact with our clerk and with Bruce Morse.
Okay. Thank you. I very much appreciate your time.
All right, well, that's why I'm here. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're plugging away here. Miss Roberts, can you hear me?
Yes,
That matter is set for 9:40. It's now 9:45. We're doing pretty well. This is an odd case. This is
Barry.
Shannon Roberts versus Michael Roberts, which is file number 252485. Mr. Roberts and Shannon Roberts are married. When he got married, he changed his name to Roberts. This is at the plaintiff's house at 47485 Haynes Road. If I understand correctly, Ms. Roberts, he's not even actually living there.
No, he hasn't lived here for 2 years, but his address, his mailing address, and the address on his license is still here.
All right, if I do evict him, I'm not sure that that would change anything. Where is he staying?
Well, supposedly, I don't know. Supposedly the Monday before Thanksgiving, he left and went out to the Dakotas. I've had eyewitnesses telephone me and tell me that, yes, he's in the Dakotas. I have people that reside with me still that have contact with him almost daily. They keep saying he's coming back. I don't know where he's at.
All right,
He's-
well, are you divorced from him?
Yes, we've been divorced since November 8th of 2023. He knew what he was doing by not changing his address because I have no legal recourse. When he comes here and things come up missing, I can't do anything because legally it shows he lives here. When my nephew
All right,
Larry
well,
Roberts,
Go ahead.
when my nephew Larry was living here, he too is on probation. So Mike wasn't supposed to be here at all. He was well aware of that. He would show up unannounced. He would come right into my house. I changed locks. I changed codes. My nephew tried to get a PPO. He threatens people that are here that stand between me and him. So he, when he can't
Well, it
help me
says
or
here
whatever.
he was personally served. He is not there. He does have family in the Dakotas. He's in one of the tribes. I think he's got reservation rights. I'm not exactly clear what the Living Good family was.
He's
I
a
know
member of the Turtle Mountain Chippewa band that's in Belcourt, but he's either in Fargo or Sioux Falls, South Dakota, or Fargo, North Dakota. That's where his two
Well,
brothers are, his remaining family.
All right, well, he isn't here. He was personally served. You are divorced. He has no lease, and he has 10 days to vacate or subject to being evicted.
I can't believe anything he tells me. He tells me he changed his address to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, yet there's nothing on his SOR report. It still shows Floating Bridge Road, where he was also evicted from.
Well, I don't know this is going to solve your problem. It will give him no right to come back to your house, but I don't know that it'll change his driver's license or his address. But you filed a motion to terminate the tenancy. It was personally served on him before he left on November 17th. And I think maybe it's best for him that he go back to the Dakotas where he's got family. But I've signed the order. He's subject to eviction after. Does he have any stuff there?
No, he took everything the day that he signed the papers in the courthouse for the divorce. Last I knew, he was living in the back of his truck, but now he's texted me and told me he gave his truck to his brother and his brother crashed it. So I don't know. You can't believe anything that comes out of his mouth. So I don't know.
Well, I've given you what you asked for. He was personally served. He is not here. He's subject to eviction. 10 days, you can ask for a writ of eviction. You really don't need to do anything. He doesn't have anything there. But this will establish that this Haynes Road address is not his lawful address.
And that will show if he
Well,
shows up again.
is that a Haynes Road? I thought your address was South Fisher Lake Road.
No, that's where I grew up. I live in my grandma and grandpa's old house, which is on Haynes Road, 57485 Haynes Road.
All right. Who's in the brick house?
My brother Joseph.
Oh, I thought you were still in there. Okay.
No,
Uh,
Joe's there and mom's house was gone in land contract to the Krotzers and I have grandma's old house.
Okay, I gave you what you asked for. 10 days, he's subject to being evicted. That's not his lawful residence.
All right.
All right,
Thank you
Good
so
luck
much.
to- okay,
All right. Bye-bye.
bye. This is a house on M60, just this side of the St. Joe County line, near County Line Road. According to Mr. McNally, it was unclear. There was a land contract with the previous tenant. It was vacant. And then people were in it. He thought they just moved in without permission, so they're listed as squatters. But you're taking the precaution for RBS property to get the lawful authority to kick them out. So we just need to wait 4 minutes and I'll grant your writ.
That's my
They
understanding.
have then 10 additional days. It'll probably actually take till the first of the year to get them out of there, but Mr. Jones, what's your P number?
Well, that's a good question. Let me get it out in my bill folder here just a second. 15567.
You're the only attorney that practices in front of me with any sort of regularity that has a P number that starts with 1.
I've been around a long time.
Yes, well, they start with 8 now. Mine
Oh,
is 33555, but the original, when they first adopted the P number, P stands for professional. Everybody started with a 1 and you were and they were done alphabetically. So if your name was A. Allen Allen, you might have had a P number of 10001. But I don't, like I said, I don't know anybody
lawyers-
really that's.
most lawyers are smart enough to retire by this age, but I'm still here.
I get that a lot. My problem is the state of Michigan tells me I have to retire. So you're not allowed to run for a judicial office after your 70th birthday.
Oh,
So I will be retiring at the end of next December.
Oh,
So the state of Michigan told me when I had to go.
that's to me when it was when you hit 80. When you hit 80, I feel a difference in the just life in general.
Well, I got a ways to get there, but you've actually hit 90, haven't you?
I'm 86.
86, okay. I was creeping up on you. All right, well, more power to you. You're still practicing law and managing your affairs and doing a great job at it. This guy is not here. So we will recall RBS Properties versus squatters and potentially Shane Long. I think Shane Long used to be known as Cherokee. It's the same guy. Anyway, they aren't here. They don't have any lawful right to this property if they are there. According to Mr. McNally and Mr. Bagley, it does appear that somebody is in there.
Yes.
And this is always a time of year when there are issues regarding the electricity or the heat in the property. So if this termination of tenancy goes through and they're kicked out, there needs to be, to make sure there's heat in there, the pipes will break. I'm going to grant the relief you're asking for by default. They have 10 days to vacate. 10 days from today is December 22nd. It's also the appeal date. Plaintiff may inspect premises for heat They don't have to, but they have my authority pending the eviction date to go in there and make sure there's heat in this building.
What was the eviction date again?
December 22nd, 10 days from today. I've seen this more than once. I had a young woman who was moved out of a property. She may have even been evicted. But she still had a key and the landlord hadn't changed the lock. So she moved out with all of her kids. She didn't have anywhere to go. So she used the key and moved herself back in. And then by the time he figured it out, we had to evict her all over again.
With my understanding, in this case, it was an employee of the plaintiff's who was gonna buy it on a land contract, but he didn't, and he deeded it back to him. So
Hmm.
I don't think he moved. It wasn't him that moved back in.
All right. Well, he hasn't been here or anybody else. So I've signed your order. They have till December 22nd. They're subject to being evicted. Plaintiff does has the right to inspect the premises pending that date to make sure that there's heat in the property.
Right.
All right, Mr. Jones, I always enjoy seeing you. And I told him last week it came up, your name was on the feed, Cordell Jones and Gary McNally appeared. And I said, well, imagine how disappointed I was. I expected to see Cordell Jones and all I got was Garrett McNally, but he was gracious enough about it. Anyway,
He's my son-in-law also.
I know. Anyway, I've signed your writ, your judgment for possession. You're entitled to the writ after the 22nd of December. All right, we'll see you again. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.